So in the end, no problems for Newcastle United against Bradford City here tonight at St James's Park. A comfortable win really. I mean, Bradford, did start the game with a little bit of intent, but overall I think Newcastle were never really not in control of the game, and to establish that good early lead with Joelinton and Osula getting those 2 goals before the midway point of the first half just put Newcastle on the perfect path to victory. And yeah, after the break, I think really you were looking at Newcastle just looking to get that 3rd goal, that insurance goal, to make it possible for Eddie Howe to make a few changes. It came with 15 minutes left when Bruno linked up with Joelinton and he made it 3-0 with 15 minutes to go, and Newcastle thought they were pretty much home and hosed. Obviously Bradford did pull one back. Boyhood Newcastle fan Andy Cook getting a goal, but look, at the end of the day, I think Bradford deserved that goal for the amazing support that they had tonight. They really contributed to the atmosphere. And at 3-1, could it be a shaky finish? Well, in the end, it was fine. Newcastle would actually go on and get another one. Harvey Barnes crossing for Osula, a tap home. Great night for Osula, great night for Joelinton, great night for Bruno, great night for Newcastle really. Yes, it was against a League One side, but I did go into this game thinking that Newcastle needed a morale boosting victory, just to try and get things back on track, get that feeling of winning again. And yeah, they did it with style in the end. And people will say, well, it was only Bradford, but you're on a high to nothing in these games, and you'd rather win them than be on the end of a sort of giant killing act. But Newcastle now set up perfectly for Sunday for the visit of Arsenal, but also the Carabao Cup draw, bringing Tottenham Hotspur to Newcastle United in round 4. So back on the road to Wembley very much. If Newcastle can beat Tottenham in this next round, then they'll be 1 game away from the last 8 again. 4th season in a row of doing that. So yeah, lots and lots to be positive about. I thought tonight Newcastle fans really did make it a great atmosphere. There was some great old school chants from the Gallagher end, chanting about Robert Lee and Andy Cole. It was just one of those special sort of League Cup nights. And Newcastle this season, they haven't quite hit the heights in the Premier League, obviously only winning 1 game, but lots of clean sheets and draws in there. They've got a foundation to kick on. Look, if they can beat Arsenal at the weekend, then that really does light the touch paper for the season ahead. Champions League away game next week in Brussels, so there's so much to look forward to really for Newcastle fans. I think if you ask me, where Newcastle are at the minute, the team is it's growing, it's developing, new players coming in, different challenges, even William Osula developing, Joelinton showing he can still do a job. But for me, I think this season was always going to take a while to warm up. People don't like it when we mention Alexander Isak because of what happened, but at the end of the day, Newcastle were always going to have to recover from that and move on, and I think that's exactly what they're doing. The Isak era well behind Newcastle now. Of course, he's a Liverpool player, and Newcastle, are turning the page and moving forward. And can they be an even better team? That's what Eddie Howe's trying to do. That's what he's trying to prove. So I personally think they can. It's going to take time. It might even take another window or 2, but they can probably be a better team than the one that won a cup last season and finished 5th. Eddie Howe in his press conference saying that every competition in front of them they want to win, and that includes this Carabao Cup. As I say, they're in a great position now. They've just beat Bradford, Tottenham in the next round. The last 8 could be beckoning for Newcastle again, so fingers crossed on that. But overall tonight, I thought so many candidates for man of the match. I actually give it to Bruno for having a hand in the 3 goals, but Joelinton could easily have won it. Osula could have easily won it. But overall, Newcastle, a great performance. They dust themselves down. They prepare now for Arsenal, and yeah, the mood is now building, and the mood's a pretty good one after tonight's 4-1 win over Bradford here at St James's.